good?
Yeah, that's all making it, too.
All right, welcome back to the BotchPod.
The BotchPod. The BotchPod.
The BotchPod, the worst podcast in the world. Welcome back to the BotchPod, the worst podcast in the world. Today, we have Barber Chief Jesse. Welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming through.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So are you like the actual Bill's barber? I know there's multiple, but like I know you cut a lot of the guys' hairs, but
Yes. How close I got to be to this thing?
I usually get closer just because I don't know.
Technically, Supercuts is. They're the official hair cutters of the bill, so we're really not allowed to say that.
Oh yeah.
But
sponsorship.
sponsorship,
thing,
yeah. But Kenny Harris from Signature Cuts, him and I are down there. Then he'll bring like some of his guys with him. So there's like always 3 or 4 of us that go down and cut at the stadium.
Okay. Yeah. So you're just like friends with the Signature Cuts guys, and that's how it kind of works, or?
Yeah, it was honestly Kenny's gig. So I don't know if you know anything about Kenny, but
I interviewed him at a tailgate because we do the Buffalo AF like videos, and I actually pulled him aside from his tent. Like they have a tent on game days, and I just pulled him aside and did an interview with him.
So he used to play in the league. He played he was like the 49ers practice squad.
Oh, really?
Actually on that team with T.O., which is pretty cool. Huh. But when he stopped playing, that's when he started cutting. Or he was cutting at the same time, I'm not sure. But it was actually when T.O. came to Buffalo that he got like that gig. Started going to the locker room and cutting those guys. And then just kind of slowly over the years, a lot of them started coming to me. So it was like kind of made some room for me down there, but he's been really cool about it. We're good friends, him and I. So
how old are you?
I'm 28.
You're 28. Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you start cutting hair?
I started cutting when I was 20.
20?
Yeah.
And that was just like your buddies, or like what made you get into it?
Yeah. So I was my grandfather's a barber, so I've always kind of had a little influence there.
Okay.
But honestly, I was going to college at Niagara University, and I was working downtown at Soho, and like I was just putting in stupid hours down there. My grades started to drop. So basically I was like brainstorming like, what can I do, be my own boss and pay my way through college. And I was like, let's cut hair. So I honestly just hopped on YouTube and learned some shit on YouTube, and one thing led to another. I ended up dropping out and doing it full time, and yeah, here we are.
Really? You kind of just like self-taught on it?
Yeah, pretty much. Since then, I have taken a bunch of classes, but those first like probably 2 or 3 years of cutting was just trial and error and YouTube. Like my grandfather, he had a little shop in his basement where he like stayed cutting years after he sold his shop. But I would just bring like all my buddies down there and kind of mess them up.
I was say, did you ever like fuck up any of your friends?
Yeah. I don't think no barber will tell you otherwise, but no, I've definitely botched a couple of my boys.
That's so funny. Like I don't know if you were to pick it up, like cutting.
Oh, dude,
I don't know if I'd let you.
No, because like high school football team, like we used to do mohawks. Oh, yeah. I was always the guy doing the mohawks, like in the locker room.
God, it's botched.
It wasn't that bad. I thought it was pretty good. I used to have a buzz cut, and I used to edge it up.
You used to line it up? Like, yeah. So I did stuff like that in high school, but not really knowing what I was doing.
Right.
Like I had like those at-home clippers. My boys would be like, hey, give me a 2 on top and a 1 on the side. And I would do stuff like that for them, but I didn't know anything. Like that was before I even watched a YouTube video about it. I was just kind of like, this looks good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, honestly, just a lot of YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
You can learn anything on the internet.
Anything. That's crazy.
I mean, think about like college. Any answer you need on homework, it's coming from Google 90% of the time.
Now they're just cheating.
No, but you're like, some of the cuts you do on your Instagram page are insane. Like they look fake almost.
I appreciate
it's insane.
That. Yeah, no, that is after years of now classes and everything. Right. So I never went to barber school. You can get your license through an apprenticeship, which is just 2 years underneath a master barber in New York State, or you can go to school full time for 6 months. But I didn't go to school because I was in college at the time, so I just did it through an apprenticeship. Once I got my master barbering license, that's actually when I started taking classes. Okay. Just kind of funny. It's like backwards, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, do you think that's an easier route doing the apprenticeship?
I think it makes way more sense. I mean, unless like you just want to open up your own shop right away,
Right.
then I would go the other route. But actually, like learning on the job, I mean, as per anything, honestly.
Yeah.
You just
Well, you said it's like 6 months at the school, right?
6 months full time at the school to be eligible to take your master exam.
Okay.
Which essentially means you could open up your own shop.
Yeah.
Or you can apprentice for 2 years under a master barber.
Yeah.
Which you have all the same like rights as a barber, aside from basically I have to have a master barber present when I was cutting as an
Okay.
apprentice. So that's all it meant. Like you couldn't have your own shop.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's such a time difference.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like you gain so much more from the 2 year with under
definitely.
somebody who knows what they're doing for a while. You know?
100%. And most like apprentices, like you make the same money you would. Like it's not like you're gonna get paid any less. I'm sure some shops do that, but
Yeah.
like pretty much every had a hair I cut that went in my pocket, so it was really no different.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And like you thoroughly and like so like nowadays, like you've been doing it. You said like probably around 8 years now.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I don't know. I feel like I would be terrified to be a barber. Like I just got my hair cut the other
Especially
day.
cutting the Bills players' hair.
God, that's what
Have you ever fucked up any of their hair?
I mean, not to my knowledge, honestly.
Right, but
Luckily,
maybe
like
they
that
went home
happened
and they're
later
like,
on
"Shit."
in my career after I'd learned what I already learned. But and I do get that question, like, are you nervous when you cut them? And honestly, no, not
Yeah.
really. Because like it's when you're cutting someone's hair, it is so personal. Like it's not like I'm watching him on TV. Like they're in my chair. Like I'm actually seeing more of their head than they're seeing.
Exactly.
So it's
yeah.
like you're really personal. It's like this is just another dude in my chair, just another head. Like
Yeah. Okay.
so.
I mean,
It is really personal, dude. Like, I hate going to new barbers. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah,
weird
definitely.
about that. Like, I can't. Like, I had the same barber from my first haircut until college, and then college I found a new barber through trial and error.
Yeah.
Multiple fuck my hair up.
Got jacked up.
And then I finally found a barber up here after multiple fuck ups as well.
Where do you go? I got.
It's Brighton Barbershop. It's a little tiny barbershop.
I've definitely heard of it.
It's like two brothers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little tiny shop.
Nice.
But I love them and they do a great job.
Yeah.
So
All about barber loyalty.
they're like cash only, like old school. And
Oh,
I think
really?
their dad like owned it. And he comes in like every once in a while. He's like a real
really?
old guy, and it's funny because all the old guys still go to him, but like all the younger kids do the brothers. But yeah, I was gonna ask like how much do you charge for like a haircut? Because I know I have buddies that get their haircut like edged up and stuff like weekly. And
Yeah,
they
I
pay
know
like
a lot of
$100 too.
Really?
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm $40 a cut or $55 for hair and beard. But everyone in my shop, like we all have different prices based on experience. So if I raise my prices and I have a client who's uncomfortable with that, it just kind of like sends it right down the line. Each
Okay.
guy's like $5 less than the next guy. So
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Interesting.
Fuck, yeah, I pay like 40, I think,
I pay
for
20.
the beard and hair.
it's
like,
pretty
I don't do the
standard
beard.
around here.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't say I was even like expensive as a barber until like this year.
Okay.
Like the standard right now is between like 28 to like 36.
Okay.
So if you're
Gotcha.
dropping 40 with a tip, that's about right
Yeah.
where it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's about what it is too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Are tips something you expect?
I mean, yes, but it's not like a make or break.
Right.
Most people that come to me, like I'm really blessed with my clients. I've kind of like, I don't mean this to sound bad, but over the years I've kind of like trimmed the fat. Just like just getting so busy. I stay like 3 to 4 weeks booked out. So
okay.
like people don't want to wait that long for me
No,
unless like you have already been coming to me.
Yeah.
So most of my guys I have been cutting for years, and I have great relationships with them. Like go on and cut their kids, like that kind of stuff. So
Gotcha.
So they just get their haircut and then book immediately after, like 3 weeks
yeah,
out.
or I do reoccurrings. So if you book me weekly or bi-weekly, I can give you a recurring spot, so you don't even have to worry about booking. And then I'll have guys they'll book their next 4 or 5 haircuts just to have them like scheduled. But
That's interesting. I've never
Just never really even like sat down and really had like a talk about how it works with a barber. Like this is interesting as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Like I never like
haircuts used to be like $10.
like you just like I'm really caught up on
12 when I started.
Yeah.
I'm caught up on you're booked out for like you're a tattoo artist. Like that's crazy for hair.
All my barbers are honestly
booked out.
My
like
cousin
months?
co-owns the shop with me. He's booked out 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. That's cool though.
That
like
is
yeah.
sick. Yeah, I was gonna ask you who co-owned it with you. I know.
Yeah. So my first cousin on my father's side, he actually was my apprentice at the old shop that we were at.
Okay.
And then we branched off and started our own.
Okay.
Nice. So what was that process like? Kind of like just finding a place.
Funny story. You guys remember? I'm trying to think. Are you Erie County? Where you guys live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Concerned. So remember we had the shutdown. It was like whatever 3-4 months, and then everyone went back to work, and then there was like a second shutdown for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They're real short. So that first shutdown, we didn't do any illegal, backdoor cutting or anything like that, just because no one really knew what was going on with COVID. But the second shutdown, I was like, all right, we have been cutting for the last however many months. Like, we know we could do this safe. Like, I'm going to wear a mask. You wear a mask. No one's going to get sick. And we actually did some, like, haircuts out of my father's office. He owns a concrete company. So we did some cuts out of his office and jokingly named it Chief's Barber Parlor. And then fast forward like 6 months later, totally unplanned, we ended up opening up Chief's Barber Parlor.
Okay. Cool.
So
cool. So
That's funny.
That like it seems like everybody we have on lately is just like during COVID. It's always COVID. COVID sparked a lot of shit.
a lot of shit.
Like it was a terrible thing. Like I mean I guess, but it was like terrible for like everything shutting down. But it was like everybody. I feel
A lot
like
of
if you
new
were,
businesses started.
Yeah, I feel like if you
during
were
that time,
meant to do something in it, you did it.
yeah.
You know
COVID
what I
was
mean?
weird.
Yeah. It
It
was
was
like kind of
really
just like a pause and kind of like a free reign, do whatever the fuck like kind of you want.
It was like the longest my hair ever was too.
Mine too.
Really?
I went and bought a car, but I couldn't get my hair cut. It was so
I was like
stupid.
totally on board with I can't cut anyone's hair, so I'm not gonna get my hair cut. So
Yeah.
my shit grew.
Really?
I was
Okay.
rocking a mullet, just doing like little taper for myself, but yeah, it grew.
Fucking dude, COVID, dude. Yeah, everybody's hair was fucked, wasn't it? Like politicians were like purposely fucking it up before like meetings and shit, just to make it be like, I haven't got my hair cut. You don't need yours cut.
I'll paint that picture for you from like my perspective. So like, obviously no one starts busy in the industry. You build up, and as you build up, like your body gets acclimated to like standing behind your chair.
Yeah.
So it was like, I built myself up to being like 2 weeks booked out right before COVID, and then I went from doing that to sitting on my ass for 3 months. And you go back to work, and you definitely a little rusty. I hadn't cut hair for 3 months, and on top of that, I'm either cutting 3 months of growth or like client ups that they were doing on themselves, like my wife tried to cut it. So like no haircut was regular. It was like I'm either cutting stupid long hair or something that someone messed up and trying to do it in 30-minute time slots while I'm rusty and my body isn't even used to standing for this long. So it was a nightmare for like that whole first month back.
Oh my god, I can't imagine like months off.
needed
Honestly, I just had like surgery a couple weeks ago, and I had like 2 weeks of just kind of doing nothing.
Yeah.
And oh my god, my body hurts so bad. Like starting to get up and
Right.
do shit now.
It's crazy
Oh,
how quick you lose it.
And yeah, I can't imagine months of that.
I'm going like a weekend vacation, like 3 days,
Yeah.
and come home and like my body hurts just from like one day cutting hair after
Yeah.
that.
Damn.
Real.
So how many like heads can you like cut a day?
It depends on the day. So I'm either, if you just book me for a haircut, it's a 30-minute slot. If you book me hair and beard, it's 45-minute.
Okay.
So I could do 10 cuts a day. I could do 25 cuts a day, depending on how my booking lines up.
Gotcha.
But
Okay. Do you do like a personal call type thing? Like you go to somebody's house or something?
yeah,
You do?
I do offer house calls. Usually, I try to do them on Mondays, just because it's Sunday. I try not to do anything, and then Mondays, like we're off Sunday, Monday. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
obviously,
Gotcha.
it's way more expensive.
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah. Is that like a common thing since like?
No.
No? Okay. Yeah.
I charge $200 for a house call.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And it's like, I don't know, people hear that and they're like, oh shit, like $200 for a haircut. It's more like the time. I got to go to my shop, pack up all my equipment, drive to you wherever you are, set up my equipment, actually perform your haircut, which is probably going to take longer than it would in my shop because like my equipment's not like, it's not my setup.
Yeah.
Break down and then get back to the shop, which is like generally 2.5 to 3 hour process.
I mean, it makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So like,
Definitely.
yeah, in that time frame, I could do 5-6 haircuts. So that's where that price comes from. But
Okay.
Makes sense.
So how'd you get like with the opportunity? Like what led up like the opportunity to cut for the Bills? Some of the players and stuff like that.
Actually, one of the strength coaches, he found me on Instagram, I believe, and ended up calling the shop that I was at and asking for me. He comes in, loves his haircut, who I still cut to this day and for free because he's totally been my plug for the last 4 or 5 years with the Bills.
Okay.
He actually sends Richie Incognito to me. So that was my first bill. And then them two together just kind of started filtering everyone else through.
Okay.
Got like Milano, and then Josh as a rookie when he came, I got him. And
Gotcha.
That had to have like raised your prices a bit, right?
that specifically, honestly, no.
No?
At that, I mean, me cutting the bills really had nothing to do with my price.
Okay.
It was more so how busy I got.
Right.
Because, like, kind of rule of thumb in barbering is if you could book out 2 or more weeks, you're not charging enough. Because then, like, then it gets to the point where I have too many clients, and I can't focus on, like, my group of guys. So right now, like, if you had an appointment with me tomorrow and you had to cancel, it's 3 weeks till I can get you back in. If I still charge the same as I did then, it would be 5 weeks. So it's like, up my price, that way I could take care of my clients and not be like too crazy busy, if that makes sense.
No, definitely it does make sense, yeah. I mean, and it's also, like, I don't know how it works, but I would just assume, like, experience really adds to the price.
Yeah, 100%. Like, the more classes I take, because these classes, they're not cheap. You guys probably haven't heard of them, but Menspire Academy, they're like the big name in barbering right now. They're out of, I think they're out of London or somewhere in the UK. Mm-hmm. But like, I took one of their classes. That was a $2,000 class, and it was 3 days. Oh, so I'll take classes like that. We just did me and all my barbers. We did a private class in Toronto about a month ago.
I saw that. I was going to ask about that.
That was $1,000 a person. It was only 2 days.
Fuck.
Did that have something to do with like OVO?
No, we just
it was
we hit the store while we were there.
I was like,
yeah, no.
She cut Drake's hair.
Right, I wish. But yeah, no, the more I invest into myself, the more my prices.
Yeah. So going back
sense.
with that connection with the strength coach and everything, it was strength coach, right?
Yeah, strength coach.
So like you said, he found you on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So was that like your goal at that time to be like were you using Instagram as kind of like a platform to reach clients and stuff like that?
Yeah, still am, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, Instagram, as you guys know, it's pretty much all free marketing. Mm-hmm. Unless you pay for sponsorships and whatever. But when I started, it was all like Instagram and just word of mouth. We weren't even using like a booking app. Like, it was just people were texting me. I'd have like 40 messages in my phone, and I'm just writing everything down with like a pencil, like when my clients were coming in. And at the time, though, it was really only like maybe 4 or 5 like known barber shops. And since then, booking apps came around, and now you got to shop on every friggin' corner.
Yeah, that's true.
I never even heard of a booking app for a barbershop, to be honest.
Yeah.
Really?
My place is walk
Your
in.
place, yeah.
it's all
You were
walk-in.
saying that you're straight cash, so yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Do you use that like an online?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, so you right through my Instagram or right through our website. It's called Square.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've done it one time before, and like the guy I go to now doesn't do that, but he just opened his shop recently. But I've been going to him for years. Like, he used to just do it out of his apartment. Okay. And then he opened his shop finally. But he says like everything was just straight for him. Still, right now, is just word of mouth. Yeah. Like people like me, like I've put a couple friends on and stuff like that. Yeah. So like, is that generally how it goes?
That's definitely how I started. Okay. I would do. I was like really targeting college kids when I started. Yeah. So I would like try to get like UB Buff State kids in, and I would actually tell them like every 3 clients you could send to me, I'll give you a free cut. So I was just kind of like keeping little tallies, like every time. Oh, I got one client. I'll reference him. His name's Jeremy, but he's probably sent me like 30 clients, just one guy. So he went like almost a whole year like not having to pay for haircuts because of how many people from his fraternity he was sending to me. So that's really how I started bumping, was just that, like,
damn,
send 3 guys type of deal. But
okay. So is this whole like I don't know what to call it. Like I'm gonna call it barbering, but okay. So is there like this might sound really bizarre if it doesn't resonate, but if it does, you'll know what I mean. Do you have like inspirations within it, like of people, like other barbers, like?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, because I know this. I think I see this one guy on TikTok all the time, Vic guy. Yeah, that guy, and like he just does like I don't know, he goes around.
He's more of a motivational speaker now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
But like, is that how it works? Because I mean,
no, it's just honestly, it's no different than any other industry. It's like, you know, if I was like a local rapper, I would look up to like Benny.
Yeah.
You know, but like it's kind of the same. Like when I started cutting, I had a couple barbers that I found on Instagram. Like, oh, like these guys are the shit. Like I want to be like these guys. And it's actually pretty cool. Now I've gotten to know a lot of them, or at least taken their classes. So.
Okay. Gotcha.
Sick. You okay, bud?
No. Pain.
What is like I don't know how to say it, like the learning curve, like how much better have you gotten now compared to when you first started? Obviously a lot, but like, are there certain things with certain hairstyles that?
Yeah, there's trends, but honestly, night and day better. Like, I mean, at the time when I first started, I still think my haircuts were better than supercut haircuts. So I could kind of, you know what I mean? Like
super hard.
like
supercuts is brutal.
Yeah, I felt when I started cutting, I still kind of felt like the shit because I'm like, I know I'm cutting better than supercuts, but like looking back on it now, I'm like if I had anyone walk out with those haircuts that I was given 7-8 years ago, I'd be embarrassed. So yeah, there's definitely the game's like on the up for sure.
Okay.
What's the trend in hairstyles right now?
Actually just got asked this question. Right now it's like anything goes because you still got a ton of people that have like their hair like overgrown from COVID. And so like I'm sure you've seen mullets everywhere.
The mullets
are everywhere right now.
Yeah.
But then like there's still people like doing like a side part with like a hard part.
Yeah.
That like 2019 look. People are still just anything right now, honestly.
Really? And you think you could do most of everything? Like if I were to walk in there with some bizarre ass request, you think you could tackle it or give it your best?
My shop specifically that we're like designed for that.
Okay.
Yeah, we do like I don't want to say brag about myself, but like that's one thing that we are known for at my shop is we can cut any type of hair.
Really?
Whether it's like fading or longer styles, scissor work, like.
So you got different guys for different styles mainly, like that specialize in certain
No,
things?
we all do.
Okay.
We all are taught. So all the classes I've taken over the years, I probably started more on like the urban side of things, like edge ups and fades and lineups, that kind of stuff. And over the years, I've taken more classes for like scissor work and that kind of stuff. So I teach all my barbers the same. They're all trained by me personally, so we can do it all.
Cool.
That's one reason that we stay so busy.
Okay.
Because a lot of shops in the area specifically are like, oh, this shop like does a ton of designs, and you go here if you want like a longer style and a scissor cut. But our shop specifically, we try to cover all aspects.
Gotcha. So if somebody out there wants to challenge a barber, you go to your shop.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. I was asking because probably 3 months ago now.
What?
When I cut my hair.
Oh yeah.
Like I did I don't even know how to like a monk. I just kind of completely shaved the top and had like a horseshoe kind of thing going around. Like I was balding.
Yeah.
And like I didn't want to waste my barber's time doing that, so I went to I don't know. It's like not super cuts, but basically like a step above. I guess it's not like a big like national company type thing.
You just
but
said,
like
fuck
just
me up.
yeah. Dude, the one lady said no at first. She told me no and handed me off to somebody else. I'm like, I really want this. You don't want that? No, I do. And then the other guy, he just couldn't stop taking pictures of it. It looked stupid, but he did a decent
What's
job.
the craziest request you've had?
That's what I was getting at there.
Request. It's not that crazy, but I did have a haircut. It was honestly like my first viral haircut. Barstool got a hold of it. This is probably like 2018.
Okay.
I had this kid, shout out Art from Grand Island. He grew out his hair from his sophomore to his junior year for baseball in high school and had me just give him a mullet, and he left the back. And then he grew it out the entire next year. So he actually had 2 full years of growth on the back of his head. And then had me give him a mullet, and then he wanted like these like lasers on the side. So I actually they're like lightning bolts. So he had like 2 years of growth on it, all the way halfway down his back, with 2 lightning bolts on each side. And I ended up I sent it to remember when Barstool did 5th year?
Yeah.
I sent it to 5th year, and they like posted it right away. They even called it the electric mullet. And like it did so well on 5th year that Barstool ended up posting it. I ended up getting over 1 million views on it. So that was like my first like viral haircut.
I know, that guy sounds like he fires, dude.
Oh yeah, like, if you saw him, you're like, this totally fits this guy. Like, he looks like the mullet guy.
Okay, I feel like I'm building him in my head.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
shout out to Art for my first.
And his name's
viral
Art.
haircut. Yeah.
Art, it just fits, dude.
Right.
That's good. Art's
Yeah,
definitely down
he's
for some
the
wild
boys.
shit.
Oh yeah.
So what was the we already answered that one. I was gonna say what was the first Bills player you cut. Have you done any clients or had any high profile clients other than like the Bills? Like any other teams players or people that come into town or anything like that?
Well, I had a couple of Sabres guys back in the day.
Okay.
I cut I used to cut Ristolainen.
Okay.
I've cut like the Marco Scandella. I have cut Eichel once or twice.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to think. I cut this one dude from the Patriots. I can't remember his name. He's playing in the CFL now, but he was actually dating, I think her name's Ashley Holder. I don't know if she was with Channel 2 Sports.
Okay.
If you saw, you'd probably recognize. She's not with Channel 2 anymore, but she was with them for a while. But he was dating her, so he would come in town to see her, and then she heard of me somehow and referred him to me.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much it, though.
Yeah, no, I was wondering because like when people come to Buffalo, like do you have people like you have? Basically, what I'm asking is, do you have the right person in line if somebody were to ask that you're the guy? You know what I mean? People that to mention you.
I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
I had I almost, which would have been really cool, when Bieber was here for his concert. It was like last year or 2 years ago. I got the head of his dance team actually reached out to me. I don't know who referred him, but he reached out to me and said, "Hey, all of us need haircuts. Like, can you come to the hotel?" And I actually had blocked it all off, and I was gonna go to the hotel. And like a half hour before I left, he's like, "Yeah, one of the dancers is actually from Buffalo, and they have a barber that's gonna come do it." And he canceled me last second.
Damn.
That sucks.
I do get referred for a lot of stuff like that. I've done I've been on movie sets and stuff. I haven't cut like any main actors, but was it Nightmare on Elm Street? What was here? I think that was it.
Recently?
This is probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
I know
a Bradley Cooper movie.
Bradley Cooper.
I didn't cut him, but I cut all the actors
Bradley
that
Cooper.
movie.
Fuck.
Then Marshall. It was about Thurgood Marshall.
Yeah.
When they were here, I did cuts for that.
And then there was recently was A Quiet Place 3.
Oh yeah.
That was like Grand Island.
Yeah, that was on the bridge.
Yeah, on the bridge. Yeah.
Who's
actually.
who's the guy that is in the van all the time? Nick, do you know? In Steve Will Do It videos, the barber. What's his name? He's like, I don't know if he's like literally his handle is like Celebrity Barber or something. Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you know Steve Will Do It, like the Nelk Boys.
Yeah.
And stuff. They have a barber that basically will pull up like anywhere in Miami in like a big ass van, and like he just cuts a ton of rappers, and like he'll just pull up anywhere. Have you ever thought about doing like a mobile type of thing like that?
It's crossed my mind. I don't think I'll ever do it. I feel like it makes more financial sense just to like travel to you with my gear,
right?
Rather than having it. But I actually do know a barber who is in the middle. I can't want to say his name because I don't know if it's a secret or not. But I actually do have a barber buddy in the industry who is doing something like that, where he's actually going to like rent out his van to barbers for like occasions like that, for weddings, which I think is genius.
That's not a bad idea.
No, it's smart.
It's a really smart idea, yeah. Damn. So what was, okay, this is another bizarre one I feel, but if you could choose like one person, who's like your dream haircut, who do you want to cut?
Right now?
Like right now?
Right now, Hezbollah. There's no bigger name than Hezbollah right now.
All right, his camera might have been off, but he said Hasbulla.
Hezbollah, for sure.
Hezbollah.
I mean, you know, I'm a big Bieber fan.
Are
That
you?
would be sweet.
Okay.
Like a couple of these sports guys, but like, actually, I know another barber that he cuts some of the bills. I don't know where he's from. Sean Porter, I think his name is.
Okay.
But he actually comes in town. Like, on game weekends, and he'll like cut in a hotel. And he actually cuts Diggs and a couple of the guys. Okay. But he got to cut Aaron Judge.
Really?
Yeah, when he was up in Toronto. Because he'll go to Toronto and cut some of those guys.
That's cool.
And he got to cut Judge when he was down there. That'd be sweet to cut Judge.
Yeah, Aaron Judge is that guy.
Yeah, but right now, Hezbollah, no questions.
I didn't see that one coming. I didn't.
Let him like hit me like after the cut or something.
You've been waiting on that one.
I would eat one of those.
You've been thinking about that. You're like, I need to find a way to cut his fucking hair. That would be a good one though.
Yeah, you cut Josh's hair, right, for the West Herd thing.
Yep.
I saw on your page.
Yep. Josh has been my client since he got here as a rookie.
Oh, really?
He's been the whole time.
Yeah. He comes every couple weeks.
I think he's had one other haircut here, or maybe two that were me. But he's my client.
Really?
Nice. Does he come to the shop or you go to him?
Either. Yeah. Usually he prefers I cut him at the stadium. I have not done a house call for him yet. That's on the bucket list, but cause I'm sure you guys heard he just built a pretty phenomenal house.
Yeah.
He's got apparently he has golf simulator in his basement.
He's got that.
He's got a par 3 in his fucking backyard.
He's got Augusta hole 12 in his backyard.
Crazy.
Fucking hell.
He showed me drone footage of it. It looks unbelievable.
Really?
But yeah, he comes to the shop. You just get him after hours.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't you have wasn't there a big painting in your shop or something? Was that
Yeah, we did. When we opened, we were finishing remodeling the area. It was actually an eye doctor's office, so there was carpet and a drop ceiling. There was offices. We just bare boned everything, ripped out the floors, the ceiling, and remodeled the whole nine. But this guy, Vivid Art, I believe his name is. He's a street artist. He does big murals on the sides of buildings and stuff downtown.
Yeah.
He did some work for my client. He did it almost looked like The Last Supper, but it was with Biggie and Drake and Tupac. It was this whole rapper Last Summer painting he did on the inside of a garage door. Really? It was my client showed it to me. It was the nastiest thing ever. I'm we gotta get this guy in. So my cousin and I were brainstorming what to do, and we're let's have him do Josh hurdling over that dude from the Vikings. Oh. And then he had the idea of saying let's have him hurling over the stadium, hurling over Highmark. It's that's sweet. And then right after he finished, it was 2 days later, was that game against KC where he had another sick hurdle. Yeah. And then he ended up coming in and signing it, which is nice. It's actually the only thing I've ever asked him to sign.
Okay.
Was my mural.
Cool. No, that's definitely worthy of signing.
Oh, yeah. It was funny too. It was a couple weeks later. I don't know how these people saw it, but I'm cutting on a Saturday, obviously game day Sunday. And 4 dudes walk in. I'm how you guys doing? Are you just walking in today? Do you have appointments? Oh, we're from Miami actually. We're here for the game. We just wanted to check out the mural.
Really?
So they actually found the mural on our Instagram somehow and came in and took pictures with the mural and then left. Didn't even get haircuts.
Really?
But that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
That's insane.
No, that's different. That's cool. I don't want to cut. I just want to take a picture with the mural.
Yeah.
That's cool though. That's cool.
Yeah. So we know a lot of the Bills players and stuff, right? And we get this all the time. But do you get family members and friends and stuff asking for you to
almost daily? Almost daily. My answer is always no. Even my own father asked me one time if I can get something signed. I'm Dad, I'm not. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I think there's probably been maybe, aside from Josh signing my mural, there's probably been 2 or 3 times in the last 6 years that I've actually had them sign something for me. Mm-hmm. But it's just kind of I don't know if it is or isn't an unwritten rule, but I really just...
It feels weird.
It feels weird.
Yeah.
I have a good relationship with all these guys, and I'm sure if I asked, they would. But it's just I want to keep it as professional as I can.
Right. So. No, and on a personal level, I don't know, from just my experience, I feel
it's not Diggs is going up to Josh and saying, "Hey, can you sign this for me?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but not obviously not that shit, but I just mean if it's your, let alone your client, but let alone your friend, or somebody you consider on a personal basis with, it's just a weird thing to.
I actually don't even wear their jerseys. The dudes that I cut, I don't own their jerseys.
Okay.
Just because I feel because of that,
No, I know.
It's gotta be weird. If they saw I'm gotten me pretty close to Milano over the years. I've been cutting him since his rookie season. It was like, if he sees me like one of his jerseys on like in a picture, he'd be like, "Oh, that's cute, bro." Like,
right?
You know, so like every jersey I own is like guys that I don't cut their hair because I'm like that might be weird.
No, that makes sense though.
Yeah, it does.
Like, I couldn't imagine. So,
Right.
How is Milano? Is he like quiet?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Seems like timid.
I don't know if I'd call him. He's not like obnoxious, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's quiet.
Okay.
He's like pretty modest, but
Keep a conversation going.
Yeah.
Get a haircut.
yeah.
I'm the most.
I mean, he's my
awkward person.
age. We're actually like a week apart.
Really?
So that was kind of funny, like figuring that out. And I'm like, you're making millions in the NFL, and I'm cutting dead skin cells off your head. But right. But no, he's cool, and he's not cocky, but he knows. Like, he definitely knows. Like, all these Buffalo girls are just in love with him.
I met him once, and he was just like, I think this is obviously
Stallion, dude.
normal. He is a stallion.
Oh, beautiful man.
Yeah.
Good looking dude.
And you just keep the hair tight. Now I know the guy behind the hair.
Yeah.
Because that's where it starts, man. I don't care what you say, what color your eyes are, how good your jawline is. If you don't have good hair, nobody's looking at you like
100%.
that. Yeah. I mean, you know how to make it look good before the game and somehow keep it looking good after. Like, this dude takes the helmet off and still he's like, what?
Right. Yeah, he's chill. He's a chill dude.
Who else from the current roster right now do you cut?
So he's a regular. Josh is a regular. Mike is a regular. I was cutting Beasley when he was here. Dean Marlowe. I'm trying to think of the guys that come. I have like a ton of guys that I cut in the stadium.
Right.
But like,
Yeah.
I'd say half of them follow me. So like 20, actually so from 2020 till this past season, we didn't go to the stadium because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I was there in 19, and then so the 20, 21, 22 season, I wasn't down there.
Yeah, makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so this is our first year back at the stadium, so my clientele there probably doubled, honestly.
Really? Okay.
But I probably got 8 to 10 guys that, even not going down there, they still come to me.
That's cool. Okay.
The biggest names are definitely Josh, Milano, and Micah.
Yeah. Cool. No, what's like that day like going to the stadium? Like, that's got to take away from like your.
It's a pain in the ass.
It's gotta be like.
I mean, I don't want to sound ungrateful because obviously it's like, as like a lifelong Bills fan, it's like sick being down there. But
yeah.
I honestly lose out on money.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to be that guy. I'm not going to charge these guys more because of their stature. So I charge them the same I would in the shop.
Okay.
This year specifically, the Bills did pay me a travel fee.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, they pay individually for their cuts when we're down there.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not cutting these guys in 30 minutes like I would in the shop. Like, my appointment time in the shop are 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
obviously these guys I know they're going to be on TV, so I'm taking a little bit more time on them. Plus they are a little pickier. Most of them, other than Josh, really have had good haircuts their whole lives.
Yeah.
Josh is probably the least picky about his hair.
Okay.
But yeah, so I end up going, and there's like, it's not scheduled, so it's like I'll get down there Friday around noon, and like when I'm leaving to come back to the shop is always a question mark. Like, I can cut 4 heads when I'm down there, or I can cut a dozen. It just depends on who needs haircuts that day.
I gotcha.
So I do honestly end up losing a little money during the season. Most of them obviously tip well, but I mean, the amount of cuts I could be doing at my shop, I could make more than if I were.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, 'cause that's why I asked. Like, I was thinking, like, I'm sitting here doing the math in my head, like, okay, so that takes away from does that take away from your regular client list, or is it like a scheduled day is it Friday?
Scheduled day. So it's 2 days before their games. So
Okay.
most of it time it's Friday.
Yeah.
If they have a Monday night game or a Thursday night game, it's just 2 days before that.
Okay, so
So-
at least set up on a schedule, and you can somewhat have
Yes.
a map of it.
Yes. This year was a little bit of a mess because it was our first year back. But going into next season, that's going to be the schedule, and I'll know. So I do have like recurring Friday clients that they know come bill season, we have to move their spot.
Okay, so that's what I was
kinda is what
wondering.
it is.
Because, like, I honestly, for some reason, and I know it's probably it's ran through the organization of the Bills, so it's probably a little bit more organized. But from every experience I've had, everything's last minute. So I was wondering if it was like an on-call type
it was
thing.
like, for the first probably quarter of the season, it was like that. The guy who was in charge of it, he was it wasn't his job before. The guy who used to be in charge when we were down there no longer works for the team.
Gotcha.
So it was like he was feeling us out, we were feeling him out, and it was like there was times where we were going down to the stadium and the players knew about it before I did.
Okay.
Like I would get a text from like Dean Marlowe or like one of the guys, like I call first, and I'm like, am I going down there? Like,
Yeah.
So I would find out like later on. It was really unorganized, like preseason in the first like quarter of the season. Then we kind of got back on a schedule.
Hate
But
that shit.
I did feel bad for all of my clients because it's obviously an opportunity I can't pass up on.
But
So
it
it's
sucks
like-
having to
It sucks
hit 'em
having
with
to
that.
cancel my guys. And,
Fuck yeah. No, I mean, 100%. That makes sense. It just, I can imagine that can be a fucking headache.
Yeah.
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 It's,
But it's a bittersweet thing. It's a pain in the ass getting
course,
down
right.
there. My shop's in the town of Tonawanda.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like a 25-minute drive down to the stadium.
Gotcha.
So I got to, and then when I come back, it's usually around 5 o'clock, rush hour. So I'm usually about at least an hour of driving alone that day. And then actually getting down there and setting up my equipment and then breaking down the equipment. And I was just talking to you about earlier, like the chairs there are like they're on platforms, and I'm already like 5'8" on a good day, and these dudes are all 9 feet tall.
massive.
So like the chairs, I'm like my back is killing me when I leave there because I'm just like tippy-toed, like trying to reach these guys. Like,
Fuck.
they're big dudes, obviously.
Yeah. No,
Funny.
it's a fucking. I mean, I just can't imagine that would be like. I mean, obviously you have to take the opportunity, but
Yeah,
then it's at
absolutely.
the same time it's just fuck.
Well, now it's to the point where like, it's. I mean, I don't want this to sound like I don't love to do it. Obviously, I love to do it, but now it's more for my barbers to fill their schedules because I really can't get busier than I am right now.
Yeah.
And I kind of have been like this for like probably 2-3 years now. My book really won't get any more full than it is. So like me doing this, it's not to like it's not even getting me busier. It's getting my shop busier and my other barbers that start with me, getting them like
Yeah.
their books full.
So how do you go about like hiring? Like, is it mainly your friends? Do you know these guys for a while before you hire them? You have an application type thing? Like,
Yes and no. It's still new to me. We've only been open it'll be 2 years in July.
Okay.
But so my cousin and I were obviously the first two, and then my first barber we hired, Ricky. He was actually a weekly client of mine. So he was a weekly for about 2 years. Just randomly came in one day. He was like, "Yeah, I quit my job." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I'm going to barber school." I was like, "Fucking awesome, good for you." Like, kind of gave him some advice along the way. Fast forward, and not even 6 months later, we like unplanned to open the shop because it wasn't a plan. And I was like, "He's the guy."
Okay.
So pretty much like, I don't know. I don't really care how well you cut hair. I could teach both you guys how to cut hair. You know. So I just like someone that I know I can get along with. That's gonna like, I'm fine with like standing next to me for like 10 or 12 hours a day, and like someone with good morals, obviously, like good character. I can't have like, you go out on a Friday night and get in a bar fight, and then we're getting bad Yelp reviews because you don't know how to act when you're out. Like all my guys they're good dudes. They're all family men. So
Gotcha. Okay.
it really doesn't matter how well you cut hair. I'll teach anyone how to cut hair well. It's
Right.
all character based.
One of the hardest things I feel like for barbers is like keeping a conversation going. Like you,
Yeah, that's
I feel
huge.
like you always that's like the biggest thing for a lot of barbershops. I
That's
feel
the
like
first thing I preach to any new barber is like, you need to be likable. You need to be relatable, because you're going to get a ton of different walks of life sitting in your chair, and you need to be able to find and relate to as many people as possible, because that's what's going to fill your book. At the end of the day, there's only a small percentage of my clients actually come to me because they know I cut really well. Most people come to me because they like to sit down for a half hour every 2 weeks and talk with me, and like I've built relationships with these guys.
Yeah.
So
Feel
it's-
comfortable.
Yeah.
Because like I've been to multiple barbershops. I'm just quiet. The people are weird, man. And it's just
Yeah,
like,
you know how to. If you go and you have a bad experience, it doesn't even have to be a bad haircut, but if you just like, the barber doesn't say anything to you and you're just kind of sitting there, like the odds that you're going to go back is probably slim.
Yeah.
Or at least you'll have a way higher odds of going back if you did have good conversation. You're like, oh, I fuck with that dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go back.
Yeah.
But,
I feel like you gotta just listen to people's fucking shit all day though too.
yeah, you do, but you learn a lot.
Probably laugh
it's
a lot,
definitely
too,
matured
honestly.
me a lot quicker than like I probably would have at any other gig. I just talked to so many people.
It's
Yeah.
cool. Like, yeah. No, you probably like laugh a lot too. Oh, like, I know there's some characters, dude. Like, just saying shit. Like,
well, it's like the locker room, you know?
Yeah. No, that's got to be a cool experience, though. Like, just being in the locker room and seeing how those guys, like, genuinely are, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, not really cameras around or anything like that. Like, I saw, what was it? I was cutting up for Dion's Instagram. They did that, like, the music thing every Friday. And I was cutting up for his Instagram, and you guys got a back of it. I saw that. I remember that.
That was funny. We were on there for like maybe 12 seconds, and my sister happened to be like watching at the time. And she like texted me. She was like, "No fucking way, you're on there right now." She's like, "Go back in. I want to get a screenshot." That was funny.
It's funny. I mean, I feel like on Fridays too, like before the game, like that's probably like best energy.
This year specifically, it was lit down there on Fridays.
Yeah.
Like in the past, it was like some guys stay for the haircuts, some guys leave. This year was like every even if they weren't getting cut, like most of these guys actually like because they do half days on Fridays, so they're out by like 12:30ish.
Yeah. And
they were just staying chill. Like they were having cornhole tournaments there, like. For the most part, they have like Chick-fil-A come and cater it every Friday. Okay. They were doing like the ping pong tournaments. They were doing the karaoke. Like, it's fun down there on Fridays. It's live, especially with Shaq Lawson back. I don't know if you guys met Shaq at all, but he's like, you know how loud. He's the first voice you hear when like they get back into practice. So having him back too was like it livened things even more between like him and Isaiah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Shaq's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, Shaq's my guy.
He's so funny.
That dude cracks me up.
Yeah.
I didn't even cut Shaq, but it was cool, like, you know, as, like, a fan, I would still, like, not DM him, but, like, comment on his stuff when he, like, left Buffalo. And he would, every time, like, comment back, like, shoot me a message, like, how you been? I was like, I never even cut this guy's hair, and he actually cares about me. It's pretty cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It's, like, just, like, makes you feel, like, I don't know. Not to sound like it just makes you feel, like appreciated, you know?
Yeah, it does.
Like, you get, like, especially if you get, like, I don't know, I feel like with Barber, like, returning clients and shit like that, like, you said you didn't even cut him, though. That's just cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to be on, like, a personal
So
friendship.
I gotta ask, I kind of got a similar to you. Not as good as you, though. What do you use in your hair?
A blow dryer.
To keep it like that, though? Like, what?
Bro, you look rough right
Yeah,
now.
it's the volume's all from blow drying it, honestly.
I'm sweaty.
Your hairline going back?
Stop it.
Cut the shit.
His is gone.
I just completely shaved it.
Your hairline left.
My head is
10 years ago,
my head is
dude.
seriously just shaved now. Like it's just shaved now. So we don't need to wear hats anymore.
That's funny.
No, I have a really
I
bad
don't honestly
hairline.
use too much product. It looks like it, but I don't.
That's natural.
I'll do a tiny bit of product and then I'll blow dry it. And then like I don't know if you've ever seen hair powder. It kind of looks like baby powder.
Yeah.
Just sprinkle a little bit of that in there and yeah.
Really?
That's about it.
You cut your own hair?
No.
Who cuts it?
Anyone in the shop, honestly. It was my cousin for a while because it was just him and I when we first started in there. But this last one, my newest barber, Sammy, he did. He's an apprentice. He's the baby of the shop. He's 23.
Okay.
But he's killing it. He laced me up. I feel good.
That's good. Cool. I mean, have you ever done your own hair? Like,
Dude, honestly, never.
Really?
I was like I said, over COVID, I was doing like little sideburn tapers.
Yeah.
But well, one, I'm not flexible. I don't even know if I could actually like reach the back of my head to fade it.
No, I don't.
But two is just like I never had a reason to.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I could. It would probably take me like 3 hours though.
I was gonna say, why the fuck does anyone do that?
Yeah.
Like even shaving, I feel like your whole like just like taking a buzzer or a clipper to your head. Like
if you have someone else that could do it, it just makes way more sense.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a position ever where I was like, I really need one. Like I'm gonna do it myself.
I was say you said during COVID you just kind of let it go. So
yeah, even that.
Yeah,
I
makes
like,
sense.
Sent it.
Dude, I couldn't imagine a botch show. Mine would be trying to shave my head, just trying to do anything to my
I
head.
saw some bad haircuts over COVID. Some really bad haircuts.
During college, I cut my roommate's hair.
Yeah.
And he's very normal hair, right?
Yeah.
Just like a little bit longer on the top bangs and, you know, kind of a fade on the side. It was so bad when I cut it, dude. I tried. I did the fade and everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. I was just scared to scissor the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I left the top a little too long.
I'll give us barber some credit. It's definitely there's a lot more that goes into your haircut than you think.
Yeah.
And I personally like really discovered that how like little my clients know just from training like my newer guys. Like my new guys start, and when they're not cutting, they're just like right on my shoulder watching me. And I'm like talking them through it, and then my clients are like, wow, like I had no idea this much is actually going into a haircut. Even something simple.
Yeah. So you don't really think about it, but when I really like wrap my head around it, I'm like, fuck, I couldn't do this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure if I did enough of it, but like,
Yeah.
just put me in there blind with somebody sitting in a chair. Yeah, okay. Like, no way.
Do you pay your barbers when you get your haircut?
No.
No.
No. None of us do.
I don't blame you.
Unless I go to another shop. I cut a ton of barbers like throughout the city that will come to me for haircuts. And most of them, if I haven't done this for any of them, I don't want to get myself in trouble. But most of them, the first time they come to me, I'll cut them for free. Just because it's nice to network and like shoot the shit with other barbers. But
Yeah.
like one of my guys at our shop, so he's Dominican, so he's got like more like urban style hair. He actually, for his birthday, him and I went and got his haircut at Signature Cuts with the kid Blake from Kenny's shop. And that was kind of a cool experience because we got to experience like the environment of their shop. And I asked Blake, I was like, yo, can I shadow you? Like, I want to watch how you would do this cut. It's totally different from how I would do it. So something like that. And we always bust each other. I think you end up paying them probably like $100, something like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's cool.
So what's like a future like plan if you like could say in like 5 years if you could see yourself like what?
My cousin and I definitely want to open up like a barber school.
Gotcha.
Something for education. Right now I do like private classes and like one-on-ones. I went down and taught at Bosie's a couple times actually, but that is like in the plans. We want to open up a school just because like all the barber schools around here pretty much they teach you how to pass your state board and that's about it. And the haircut you give at your state board exam, you'll never even cut like that ever again.
Why is that?
It's just like this specific way that they want you to cut, basically to show that you're not gonna like spread disease to anyone.
Okay.
But it's like this really old school way of cutting. I guarantee you 99 out of 100 barbers after they leave this state board exam don't cut hair like that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's probably like a driver's test, you know?
Yeah, that's what I would. I mean, yeah, to pass anything. So you officially like need some sort of licensing.
Yeah, you do need
Is that
in New York
just
State
to
you do.
own a shop or even to
Do
necessarily-
either. So
Okay.
just to be able to cut hair, you at least need your apprentice license.
And why is that? Is that just strictly because of sanitary reasons and stuff
It's
like
probably half that and half New York State like wanting to get as much
that?
money out of us as they can.
Okay, that makes sense.
So actually, when we were up in Toronto, he was telling us, the barber who did our class up there, that they don't even need license.
See, that's what I was wondering.
Which
'Cause
is
it seems
weird.
like it's in my mind, it's like teetering both ways. Like
Yeah.
obviously you want to be able to trust the person, just like, I don't know, tattoo or something like that. Like I'm not going to anyone tattooing really without like somebody sketchy that doesn't have a license.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna, unless I
Yeah.
know you. And then it's still on me if I get some infection shit. But that makes sense, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, New York State is like pretty strict with that.
Are they brutal with it?
Yeah, which really never made sense to me because, like I said, like you don't really learn anything in barber school
Yeah.
here at least. Like they teach you how to pass your state boards. You, depending on the teacher, you might learn a thing or two, but
Yeah.
we want to do a school where you're gonna leave and know you can cut good hair, which
No,
like doesn't really
yeah.
exist. Here, at least.
Yeah, no, that's a good aspect of it too, because everything, no matter what category you're in, they have these classes and stuff. Like if we're even talking high school to pass your SATs, they just teach you how to pass it type shit.
Yeah.
To have something like that would be definitely like interesting, especially if you could get like the word out about
and
it
teach
too.
like all aspects. Like they're not teaching like social media. Like
Yeah.
they're not teaching you like how to be a good person and carry a conversation with your clients. Like stuff like that. We'd like to break it down and actually like set them up for success and actually have like full schedules.
No, and that's good. And like you're basically like just saying, hey, you can get the license, but you also have other opportunities now when you go
Yeah.
to some shop and stuff like that.
Yeah, I want it to be like whatever, say we call it Chiefs Barbering School. Like I want people to look at that like a Harvard degree. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they came from Chiefs, like we're gonna hire them.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? But,
That's something you're looking into, or
Yeah,
they're just okay. Okay, so you already kind of started to think about it.
yeah, honest, I've been thinking about it even longer than I've been like owning my own shop. Okay. It's just always something I wanted to do.
Are there any big like online courses or training classes?
Yeah, specific barbers. So like we were talking about earlier, like those like real like top barbers in the world, like you can get their online classes. Actually, the guy that we just had a private class with in Toronto used our private session for his like online class, his online academy, and dropped it like 3 weeks later. Oh. So actually, my youngest barber, Sammy, I was telling you about, he's actually enrolled in his online class. Oh, okay. Which is pretty like intricate actually. Like he's like cutting mannequins and like taking videos of it and like sends it to the guy, and he has to like check off on everything before you're even allowed to go to like the next step.
Really?
So it's pretty impressive.
Cool. So something like that guy that runs that, is he still, does he own like a shop? And like he cuts full time and does this course thing. I can't imagine that's even the closest bit to fucking easy. Like just
no, yeah. He's a younger guy. He's only 26, but he's like on that segue of trying to get out from behind the chair, and because you'll make way more money educating. Right. So like I was telling you guys about Menspire. The guy, the head of Menspire, Josh LaMonica, he's like strictly an educator, where he just travels over the world and teaches classes. So he doesn't have like a clientele. He doesn't cut behind the chair. So this guy, Alex, who we did with in Toronto, he's like trying to like narrow his days to where like he's only 3 or 4 days behind the chair, and then he's educating other days, which is something I would like to do as well. And eventually, if I could be behind the chair 1 or 2 days a week, and all the rest of the week be just educating and way less stress on my body, that would be like ideal.
Okay, so that's kind of like your, not necessarily end goal, but just like kind of like right now, dream for what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
I feel like barbering is crazy because like you got Joe Schmo around the corner, and then you got like Vic Blends. Yeah. He's like a multi-millionaire, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he doesn't even cut hair anymore.
So like extending on that, like there's a barber for everyone. If you want to pay $10 and go to a shop where you could walk in, there's got a barber for you. If you want to pay $50 and go get like someone spending 45 to an hour and detailed work on your haircut, there's a guy for that, which is pretty cool about the industry. There's no like, it's expanded so much now. You got both ends of the spectrum, where it used to just be like those old school like Italian barbers, your like $5 cuts.
That's literally my shop.
They make you pick up the broom and sweep for them, like when you know what I mean, like. Those type of shops.
They make fun of me. I'm like 50% Irish.
Yeah.
And they're all hardcore Italian, so they all make fun of me when I walk in.
Of course, you go to somewhere that's just all old school Italian. That would be.
That's how it started.
So like nowadays in 2023, with everything like I said, I see barbers on TikTok now and Instagram. Is it like how do I word this correct? Is it like a growing trend and like people are just hopping on board? Do you see that a lot? Like just like
you're saying for
the wrong reasons type thing? I don't know if it could apply to that, but
like the gym culture, like for example. Like I see a lot of fitness influencers that don't even know what they're doing.
I'd compare barbering now to like how landscaping used to be. Like it used to be like anyone could just go buy a lawnmower and you're a landscaper. Now it's like anyone can go buy a pair of clippers and be a barber. But like now it's kind of like it's cooler now for whatever reason. Like the industry's grown. Like you used to look at a barber and be like, oh, is that the only thing you do? You know what I mean? Like people are like, is that this, do you have like a second gig? Or now it's like the industry's to the point where you can make a decent living off cutting hair. So people are like starting to come to light with that. And on top of it, they're like, all right, there's actually like a culture behind it, and it's like a cool thing to do. So
I feel like the culture and just society has helped that so much because
the internet.
I feel like the internet, but I feel like, okay, let's go back. What are we in 2023? Let's go back 50 years, 1970. Like that, like. There's like not that many. I feel like there's like tenfold the variety now and what people will do and are willing to do.
Oh yeah, I mean even in the last, since I started till now.
Really?
In Buffalo specifically, it's been there was like I said, maybe 3 or 4 shops that were like, like the shit, like shops that like people knew about.
Yeah.
And now it's like there's got to be 40, 50 barbershops that are here now that weren't when I started 8 years ago.
Cool.
Because it's like anyone can do it now. And barber schools are spitting out more barbers now than ever.
Really?
Well, now I told you I went and taught for that BOCES class. That's a high school class. They never offered that. Barber school, if you actually go to like the Buffalo Barbering School, that's like, it's not high school kids, it's just like anyone could sign up and go to that academy. Now they actually have it for BOCES for high schoolers. Like you could actually sign up and go like practice barbering during your like high school day.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
I mean, clearly it's growing in like a good direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without calling anyone out, you don't have to, but I'm just like, do you think like some places are just completely overpriced and it's absolute bullshit?
Yeah,
For what they do, like product wise?
yeah, I do.
Now, where do you think like the overpricing comes from? Like, if that makes sense.
Right now, at least from what I've seen, like in the area, it's like based on the barber shop quality, like the quality of that like shop.
The shop itself.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if you have a really nice shop and it's clean and like there's money put into it, the haircut price is higher.
Okay.
Even though the quality of the haircut might not be like, the same quality as the Italian guy down the street for $15, because there's like more money poured in the shop, it's higher prices, which I mean makes sense business wise.
Yeah.
But
Of course, because I instantly think of, there's this place somewhere around here. I don't know, I went to some party or something there one time. And they had this place was fucking insane. Like, they had a bar built in.
it's Il Molino.
Is that, they have a black pool table or some shit too?
Yeah,
Like,
my buddy owns that.
okay. And I'm just like, I can't even imagine the price of what it could be here.
I don't think they're like crazy priced.
Okay,
At least,
gotcha.
not that I know of. But
Right.
actually, I used to cut with him at the last shop I was at. We were both there together.
Oh, really?
We both kind of branched off into their own thing.
Cool.
But I know you're talking about shop's gorgeous.
No, it's
really
beautiful.
nice, yeah.
I'm like, this is a fucking barber shop? This is insane.
Pool table, bar.
Yeah.
Even I actually went to go see it last year just to like kind of show some support for him. And even you walk in, he's got like scents that like pump out through the vents. So
Really?
he's like down to like the tiny little details like that,
Really?
which is really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I was just like,
But that's like kind of how their direction is going. Like now it's like the good haircut's only getting you so far. So now you need to start making like your shop better. And like
Cool.
people are just trying to outdo each other now.
cool. I know you have the mural, but what else do you have like as an attraction type thing like that? Or
don't know, it's just-
do you really even think
we're
about
like,
that?
I'm like right in the middle where it's like kind of like old school Italian barbering with like a touch of new modern stuff. So I don't got a bar in the shop or anything, but my shop is very clean. Everything is modern.
Gotcha.
We didn't cheap out on any of the chairs that we have or anything like that.
No, that's cool. Like, I like that because, like, honestly, if I were to go get my hair cut at that one, I don't know what, I forgot the name, Il Molino, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. If I were to go get that, I feel like I would just be, like, out of place. Like, I don't know. Like, like, I want, like, a homey vibe, too, Yeah. But, like, I feel like to each their own, I guess.
Yeah.
You just got to know your customers.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
What is the biggest tip you've ever gotten?
Ooh, good one.
Tip specifically? I don't know about tip. I said the most I ever got paid for a haircut was I talked about this on the Western podcast. I don't know if you saw it, but Micah over the summer last year. So he stays in San Diego when he's not here in Buffalo, and he does have a barber out there who just couldn't get him in, or like I don't know, kind of did him dirty or something like that. So I get a call. It's like Thursday night, and he's like, "Hey, I have a wedding in Cleveland tomorrow. I need a haircut. Like, what do I have to do to get you out there?" And I was in my head, I'm like, when am I ever gonna get this opportunity again? I called, canceled all my clients for the next day. I drove. It was like a half hour past Cleveland, so I drove like 3.5, 4 hours where he was. Cut him and the groom, which I thought was hysterical because it's like, this is like your wedding haircut. He like obviously the groom like knows I cut good hair because I'm cutting Micah, but like he doesn't know I'm gonna cut him well. I thought that was funny, but I didn't know like how to price that. Because I'm like,
Yeah, no, I can't imagine.
in my head, I'm like, I'd like him to compensate for the money I would have made.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't want to like, I don't know how much he's expecting to pay me. So I don't want to like give him something that's like, comes off as disrespectful. So I don't want to, I'm not going to give you guys a figure. But I told him, I said, listen, I don't know how to price this. Whatever you're comfortable with, pay me. That's fine. I don't want to like burn a bridge with you. And he actually paid me double what I would have asked him for.
Okay.
So
That's cool.
it was, I'll say it was over $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the most I've ever got for a haircut.
Definitely worth the drive.
Yeah.
Then. Okay.
Yeah, he made it worth it.
That's cool.
That's my guy, though.
That's just like one of those killer opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can't say no to it, but it's like, fuck. But what are you gonna? I wouldn't say no to it. Yeah. To be honest with
Especially
you.
him. He's honestly one of my favorite dudes on the team. He's
Really?
so chill.
Okay.
Great people.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a shit. $1,000 over $1,000 for haircut. It's not a bad day's work.
No,
right?
not at all.
It's a little drive down to Cleveland, whatever, sightseeing shit.
Got a
whatever.
speeding ticket on the way back.
Did you? Oh,
It's like,
no.
that's why I was like happy he paid me. I was like, at least I get to cover this ticket.
Oh man, that's funny. What are we at? Cool. You got anything
You
else?
got anything you want to plug? Anything coming up? Anything big? We're going to put your Instagram down in the description, obviously. Go give them a follow.
Yeah,
But-
please follow me. Nothing crazy, man. I don't know if you've seen on my page at all myself and all my barbers take part in what's called a one-shot hair awards. It's basically like the Barber Grammys, I guess you could say. I had
Yes, I did see that.
I had one of my shots last year placed top 25 in the world. So that's really what I'm looking forward to this year is like hopefully winning one of those would be awesome. I don't ever know if I anticipate that, but doing better than I did last year, it's definitely a goal of mine for this year.
You were a
Personally.
finalist
Yeah.
twice?
Yep. Yeah, so last year I had 2 top 100s and then 1 top 25.
Sweet.
So hopefully this year we're going a little further.
That's cool. Good luck.
Thank you.
Fuck. When is that?
The show's in August in Austin, Texas this year.
Oh wow, really? Shit. So how does that work? Like you take some of your guys?
So it's actually like the haircut photo.
Oh.
So
okay.
the deadline was like a couple months ago to submit your photos from last year. And basically like they have a board of judges that'll narrow it down to the top 100 photos. I think so mine was in the fade category. There was like 6,000 submissions in it, something like that. But yeah, they will narrow down the top 100. All those guys will get honored, and then their panel will narrow down to top 25. If you place top 25, you're invited to the show, which is like way cooler than I ever imagined it was. It's like kind of like a red carpet walk, like all the best like people in the industry were there.
Okay.
I honestly didn't even realize how big it was till I actually got down there and I saw. I was like, oh my god, that's Los Cut-It, that's so and so, that's so and so. Like every big name like in barbering was there, and in the salon industry too. It was like men's and women's.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like they make you feel like royalty.
Really?
It was really cool. I was
That
like,
is
I didn't even realize how big it was. Like I said, till I got down there, I'm like, wow, this is serious. Like
That's cool.
People are winning these awards. They're going on stage like dropping to their knees, like crying. Like I swear to God, like these like lifelong goals for a hairdresser is like to win one of these awards. So I was like, sweet, I'm top 25. I can't wait to go. And then I'm like there, and I'm like watching all these people win. I'm like, that is got to be like the coolest thing ever to win one of
Yeah.
those. So I'm like,
Definitely. Top 25 is pretty fucking good
it
though.
was way further than I expected to get, honestly, because there's some really, really talented barbers in the world.
Yeah.
But-
No, for sure, definitely. Top 25 in the whole world, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That is pretty fucking impressive. Yeah. Good for you, man. Well, good
Thank you.
luck.
Yeah,
Shit.
That's probably about it that I could think of for this year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Be on the
We'll be
lookout
looking
for
forward to it, yeah.
the school.
Yeah, but book with us.
Fuck yeah.
ChiefsBarber.com.
ChiefsBarber.
ChiefsBarber.com.
Pop it up on the
By the way,
screen.
I'm not native. That was like a misconception. Like when we started opening, it was like, oh, it was like a native shop. So my last name is Chifa. It's spelled
Okay.
Ciffa. It's Italian, so it's pronounced Chifa. So Chief has been like a nickname my whole life.
Okay.
We got a lot of
Yeah.
funny remarks to that. It was like, oh, you're native? No, we're not native. It's like, oh, we don't want our bills going to the Chief's shop. Like, my last name's not Bill, so
I'm sorry I'm not fucking named Bill, okay?
there's a couple different Karens on Facebook.
No
comments
way.
like that.
That's
but-
actually, oh my God, people are, why am I even questioning
it's
that?
Facebook, too.
Oh my God.
Like, well, it was a nickname my entire life.
why
I
are our
didn't
bills
choose.
going there?
Yeah. Yeah, there was one lady specifically, she said that like verbatim. It was like, why are all my Buffalo Bills going to the Chiefs barber shop? I'm like, well, lady, my last name isn't Bill. Oh, I had a funny one. I had one lady stop in. She recognized me. We were on like channel 2, 4, and 7 when we opened, and like they all came and covered it, which was cool. But she comes in, she was like, "You cut Josh Allen's hair?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, we want to invite him to my daughter's wedding.
Oh my
I was like, and then I had like, I don't know if you remember, we had one guy from Buffalo like do pretty well in The Voice. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
But, like,
yeah, I forgot the name, but yeah.
His dad stopped in and asked if like I could have like Josh like post something about voting for him. And I'm
Let me
like,
just call him a quick. Yeah, I got
know.
you.
I'm like, well, one, I'm not his PR guy. I'm like, I don't want to sound like I'm bad mouthing this guy because he did seem like a really nice guy. But also, I'm like, at least book a haircut with me. Like, I don't cut you or your son. Like, at least show my business like some kind of respect. He just walked in. He's like, hey, I don't know if you heard of my son, but he was on The Voice. You think Josh will post it to his story to go vote for him? Like, I don't. Like, you're asking.
You're like, I cut his fucking hair.
And I said that. I was like, I cut dead skin cells off this guy's head. Like, I don't. It's not like that, but just a weird request.
You'll have that. You'll have
one lady. Actually, I probably should have reported her. She came in and she was crazy lady, and she was like, "Tell Josh to put a bomb in his helmet and blow up Patrick Mahomes." I was like, what? It was like the weirdest conversation we've ever had. Never saw the lady ever again. But so yeah, apparently that made sense to her. So I was like,
no, that's funny. I don't know if I ever told you this. I was at dinner with Kelsey. I've met Josh a few times.
Yeah.
But I'm at dinner with Kelsey for her job. Like she had a work dinner for Christmas. That's my girlfriend. Okay. And the one girl goes, hey, if you see Josh Allen anytime soon, tell him I said hi. I'm like, I can't tell if you're serious or not. But like, if you are, what's wrong with you? Like,
yeah,
do you
right?
really think?
I get more of those for Milano. It's like, give Milano my number. I'm like, no.
People, man. That's just, at the end of the day, it's just people, man.
Yeah. It's funny too, because my good clients don't ask me stuff like that. It's the clients that I haven't cut in like years that'll like reach out and be like, hey, like, and it's always a sob story. And I always feel guilty like in saying no, but it's like, oh, like so-and-so got bullied at school, like my nephew. Can you have Josh like write him a letter? I'm like, what am I supposed to do here?
You could just forge it.
Yeah, right. I feel bad saying no, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. Shit, boys.
Right.
Fuck.
Let's wrap it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, seriously,
Appreciate it. It was good.
That was a good talk.
Chopping it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I learned so much, honestly. I did. Like,
Informational.
Dan's gonna go cut hair now.
no, I'm not.
Like, comment,
I'll
subscribe.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're a
You can do it.
big fat pussy bitch.